much. It's good that you pronounce the name very well with a rolling R. If you cannot do it. Anyway, a bit about myself. My name is Umar Bindir. I am retired now. Actually, Rose got me to come here this afternoon. I was watching Netflix, and I know what it is to retire. And she obstructed my movie watching. I'm an engineer by training, and I'm a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Engineering. Rose, put it in your notes that the Academy, as a goodwill, wishes you very well. It has recognized that genetic engineering is real engineering. Therefore, you have to register and possibly struggle in the next 20 years to become a fellow. I have done so many things. If my young brother is here, he was my boss, the former Vice Chancellor of University of Maiduguri. I was an academic. I rose to the highest level and I left. And then I entered the civil service. I rose to the level of director in the Federal Civil Service. And then I got recruited to go to NOTAB to become Director General. While I was Director General of NOTAB for 6 years, I was re-recruited to go to Adamawa State and become the Secretary to the government. So when you mix all this, I know the science, I know the policy, and I know the implementation as an agency. I even know the social side of it because I worked with politicians. Actually, I am now a politician. Scientists and technologists must become politicians. Otherwise, Oga over there will continue to have problems. Oga, you will continue to have problems if we continue staying in our cocoon. So my remark, like the presenter said, is very, very broad. But I want you to understand that in all the presentations, including his own, you actually have got 3 houses and 3 classes of people. And you are mixing it up. When you mix it up, you don't see clearly. You see, science are the specialist people. They are the PhDs. They are the professors. They fiddle a lot in the laboratories. They work in workshops. They come up with the evidences, they write papers. But actually, if you concentrate on producing these PhDs and professors to produce knowledge, high-impact journal papers, and so on and so forth, you are not going to make any progress. They are not as important as you think, but they are not totally not important. You need additional people to power this house. And that is what takes you to the technology. The technology are the people who prove the concepts of the science. They are the people who filter the science and see what is useful for us. How can we use it? How can we fiddle with it and change it? And that is when technology comes out. A scientific paper is not technology, but a method that is prototyped to demonstrate to you that it works is technology. Now, this technology is useful for everybody. And if you jealously want to make sure that you utilize it and you get the benefit of it, then intellectual property comes into it. Intellectual property means property of the brain. Just like any property. Your house is your property, but if you don't have certificate of occupancy of that house, if somebody enters the house, you'll find it very difficult to kick him out. Your farm is your property. You need that piece of paper. Otherwise, if I start farming on your farm, it will be very difficult to kick me out. So intellectual property too is now the paper that protects that intellect. And patent, like the professor said there, is one of the most known. It's only a piece of paper that says, this guy has come up with this invention, novel, meaning that throughout the world, no one has ever thought of this. You know how difficult it is now to get a patent. And then it must have industrial application. People must use it to produce goods and services, to make money, to generate employment. This has to be included in that. And then, most importantly, it should be non-obvious. Meaning, even a professor in that field will wonder, how did you come up with this? These 3 ingredients is what gives you that piece of paper as a patent. And there are many other intellectual property. Trademark, you cannot sell it unless you have a mark. That bottle of water there, it has premium, Nestle premium. Peel that Nestle premium and leave the bottle there. Come next year, the bottle will still be sitting there. Nobody will drink it. But that piece of paper makes you feel comfortable. You crack it and drink it. You know that it's not acid. It's not alkali. It's not. So that is also intellectual property. The bottle itself, as you see, it's very sexy, very nice to hold and so on. It's industrial design. That too is intellectual property, and so on and so forth. In the biological sense, you have all the varieties and so on and so forth to protect, and there are many experiences in this country to demonstrate that we are very, very weak in this. Universities ranking and the value of academics in an academic institution, patents is an index. Go and Google top 100 universities in the world. You will find that 98% of all of them are in the US. Why? University of Ibadan and University of Maiduguri are similar to MIT, which is also a university. They have a name, yes. They have a big gate, yes. They have professors inside, yes. They have laboratories, yes. But you continue the SS until you reach a point whereby you say, MIT, how much are you getting repatriated from your knowledge? These patents that you have licensed, the royalties coming back, they will quote in billions of dollars. Ask University of Benin, ask University of Ibadan, University of Maiduguri. They will tell you that they are waiting for government budget. Same, but that is the value of intellectual. So even when you have it protected with the IPR, that is not the end. In fact, I was telling Rose, this conference is supposed to celebrate, not to argue about GMOs and so on. I think this GMO debate is just because we are very religious. G is genetics, is genes. And religious people think gene is godly made. Don't mess up with it. And then you say modified, and then people will start saying you're playing God. And it has nothing to do with science and so on. It's just our religiousness that is affecting us. You know. So the thing is, now, even when you get it protected, to move into the industrial phase, to see that professors are making, I have many professor friends in Germany, they own planes. When you go to their houses, they are mansions. And you tend to wonder, you're a professor, you're still in the university, and you have all these, it's intellectual property licensing. So technology transfer is taking your technology protected, because you need the protection. Otherwise, industry will not touch it. Moved in, and there are many ways in transferring technology to get benefit. You can sell it totally and collect 10 billion naira. You can license it and get small as they sell it. You can do joint venture and many other methodologies. This we don't do. Very rarely do you go to our universities and research institutes and see people with intellectual property rights connected to industry, and they're doing, but most of our professors, when they go to conferences in Lagos, they're phoning their brother. I'm coming now, pick me up from the airport, and I will spend 2 days. So they've already booked their accommodation with their brother. No, a professor is the highest ranking knowledge worker. He should go to Sheraton, for God's sake, and say, do you have, it is when you see Nigerian professors behaving like that, then you know IPR is working. Technology transfer is working, and he's still in the university. No corruption there. So that movement of the IPR through licensing to get to industry, that is where the house of innovation is. This house of innovation is where the scientists can be there, the technologists can be there, but the social scientists can be there. You see, these people, when we were in university, they are doing arts, they are singing and drama, we think they are useless. They don't know anything. Without them, you cannot sell your product. They are the ones that say, hey, the GMO is nice. So, Oga, you are not using, you are trying as a scientist to become a technologist, to become an innovator. You can't. You have to bring the social scientists to deceive or convince people that this is good. In fact, it will make you deliver more children. In fact, if you are not delivering children, take GMO. People will take it. You know what I mean? So, this is generically how I look at it. But certainly, Nigeria as a powerhouse, I think we're very strong in science. In technology, we're very weak. Intellectual property is so weak that Nigeria does not have an intellectual property policy. Nigeria has never produced one single patent attorney from its own system. We don't even have the course. There's no institution that can produce patent attorney. When you run to a US, like as usual, you can become patent attorney there because they know you, but not in Nigeria. And the institutions for intellectual property, some are in Ministry of Industry. The patent registry is there. The trademark registry is there. It's a ministry thing. Copyright is a Ministry of Justice. NOTAP is a Ministry of Science and Technology. They themselves based on the way Nigerians will work with islands who are quarreling with each other. We cannot work together. So my final remark is, especially based on what Oga, the presenter, said in his concluding remark and the previous paper, is partnership is key. NAFDA cannot do it alone. The NAGRAP and the associate cannot do it. You need NAFDA. You need the National Orientation Agency. Don't waste your time thinking that there are no scientists or engineers. You are not going to talk to them. They are the ones to make you successful. So there has to be a platform to make sure that all these people are interrelated. They are understanding GMO. So it's not us that you should explain to us GMO here. Explain it to National Orientation Agency. Explain it to the National Theatre. Explain it to the lawyers, and so on and so forth. When this happens, then you can find that the science house and the technology house and the innovation house, there's a Venn diagram. And the final overlap, where some of Nigerian science is becoming technology, creating jobs, creating wealth, employing young people, is also innovatively covered. That part is measurable. That research has never been done in Nigeria. Go to University of Ibadan, a lecture, a hall like this. Just bring abstracts or papers presented in the last 2 years. It will fill this hall. But ask the university, of this whole knowledge, how much is actually helping our poor people in the village? Then you see professors doing like this, finding their way out. Why? Because we have not learned how to milk, how to mine knowledge for our own development. So I'm sorry, Chairman, I talk a lot, but this is a very passionate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.